Well, I never thought I would be doing a nonfiction story on this channel because, I don't actually have many interesting stories to tell because I don't do things because I'm socially impaired, which is why I have time to make these fucking things. But I just finished watching a video by a gentleman 3 months younger than me, and he was talking about how he felt a fundamental cultural disconnect between himself and people who were only like a year or two younger than him. And that got me remembering a very intimate, let's say, experience I had with a group of kids that were a couple of years younger than me. This was back in my senior year of high school. Hello, Pinky. And because all the electives I wanted did not fit my schedule, which had like 3 classes that were only offered one period, I said, fuck it, I'm taking a second language, and I'm taking 1 year of French. This would have put me with a bunch of freshmen plus a couple of sophomores and juniors who just didn't feel like taking a language until then. So this put me with kids who were born 3 in some cases, 3 and like 7/8 of a year younger than me. Because I was born like a week after the cutoff date, so I was as old as I could possibly be in that class. And there was me, and there was one other senior girl who everyone liked because she was a barrel of sunshine, plus one other guy who dropped out halfway through. I don't know if he graduated earlier or if he just dropped the class, but he disappeared. I was the grumpy old uncle type who nobody fucking gave a shit about, and I only existed to ask these kids, how fucking stupid can you be? Because while there was also the cultural aspect of how different I was with these kids, they said some really profoundly dumb shit. Granted, like, they were freshmen in high school, and in my experience, freshman year of high school is just another year of junior high. Everyone's still an asshole. Then sophomore year rolls around and everyone grows up, and people who you used to hate are suddenly nice to you and they're being genuine. Or at least in my weird-ass experience, that was how it worked. Not to mention my generation, I say generation, it's one fucking grade. We were also probably idiots when we were freshmen, but it wasn't so readily apparent. I am really glad I took that French class because it gave me a massive insight to just how dumb 3 years can make you. Things like this happen. Well, for one, there was one girl who randomly was on a trip to Orlando over spring break or something, and she turned to me, not because she liked talking to me, but because I was geographically the only person next to her at the time. She didn't feel like going up and talking to her real friends, and just asked me offhand how long a flight from Chicago to Orlando takes, as though I knew offhand how long that would be. I decided to play up my lower middle classness and told her I didn't know that because I'd never been on an airplane. I had been on an airplane twice in my life at that point, and 9 years prior to that, 15 minus 8, 7 years, fuck it. And she was genuinely surprised that this guy didn't have like a fucking encyclopedic knowledge of how long it took to get from Chicago to Orlando on a major chartered flight. Or not chartered, commercial, you know what I mean. Then there was the case where we had to go through the French-speaking countries, and the teacher decided to ask us casually, what country shares an island with Haiti? Now, I am the weird one, because unlike most Americans, I know a thing or two about geography, because maps give me a hard-on in ways that vaginas and dicks and asses of both genders do not do. I think that's because my mom smoked and drank when she was pregnant with me, but whatever. So I was able to say, hey teacher, what's the word for Dominican Republic in French? And then the girl next to me, and for bonus points, this was a French day when we were supposed to speak only in French, so she got us busted both with her stupidity and for bursting out in English. She turned to me with the weirdest fucking look in her eyes like, you're Dominican? This girl honestly thought that me knowing that the Dominican Republic existed meant that I'm Dominican. And as you can see by my hand, I would be a very strange Dominican. Granted, every country on the world has some diversity, and Germans have somehow gotten, or why do I call myself a German? Oh yeah, because I found out that there were Germans in fucking the Dominican Republic recently, but fuck it. She honestly thought that I was Dominican just because I knew the Dominican Republic existed. Side note, I feel like a dumbass for forgetting how to say, how do you say in French? I remember now it was Como di Ton, but okay, time for the main event. So, apparently, between my age level getting to first grade and these fucking kids getting to first grade, they stopped teaching them how to tell time. When we had to learn how to say time shit in French, we had to go over a fucking review of how clocks worked. And this is where things started getting muddy. So we got some basic shit like 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, whatever, then the 30s, then the 10s, then the 1s. Then we got into the colloquialisms we all use. And teacher decides to go this. He says, fuck, that's way too long. Scribble, 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 scribble. He says something like, this is 1:45. And then this girl in the class says something that I could not make up. I did not know it was possible to be this dumb. She raises her hand with the shittiest look on her face, like she has just lost all respect for authority and the intelligence therein. Granted, the teacher was kind of an idiot, but not that much of an idiot. Like a regular, able to function in society idiot. I'm getting off topic. And when she gets her point is this. That's not 1:45. 1/4 is 25. Okay, so this chick thought that a fucking quarter was 25 cents, or that 1/4 was 25 cents, that 1/4 equal 25 as a number. No, it's a fucking fraction. It's 25%. It's 1 out of 4. 15 minutes is to 60 minutes. What 25 cents is to 100 cents. Jesus fucking Christ. And I don't know how the fuck the teacher kept a straight face. And he was just like, no, that is not true. 1/4 is 15. She's like, no, it's 25. 1/4 is 25 cents. And I just mumble, or no, I don't even mumble. I think I said it straight out loud. No, it's a fucking fraction. It's 25%, and 25% to 60 is 15. But no, none of the younger kids listened to me. Side note, one girl at one point in the class legitimately told me never to speak to her because I was not a cool person. So fuck these kids. They're adults now, apparently. And, well, props to the teacher for not just fucking obliterating this girl for not knowing what a fucking quarter means outside of a goddamn coin. Alright, there we go. No brand names in here, thank you very much. Fuck off with you. So, young people are... No, you know what the lesson I got out of here was? I am so lucky to have been born when I was. Because not only does the future look bleak, so I got a couple more years out of that, if I had been born 3 years later, I would not have known how to tell fucking time, possibly. Who knows what kind of shit I'd learned if I was born in 1991. Jesus fucking Christ, I'd have been a fucking genius. I don't know. I have a lot to ruminate about. So there's a happy story about that. I'll link to the video I saw in the description. So in all likelihood, no one will watch this and then also watch that. So that's like 2 levels of not going to happen. But I can hope. Jesus fucking Christ. 8:47. 8:50. I'm just digging a fucking grave here. Hey, at least I know how to tell time. Oh wait, because it's... I fucked up. It's displaying the goddamn time to me and I call that telling time later.